In this video, we'll be modeling a product box. In fact, we'll be doing a bit more of the modeling. We'll be UV mapping it. We'll create a morph map also to help us out with the modeling and UV mapping process. And we'll also be using not just box modeling methods, we'll also be doing curves. We'll use curves to lay out the basic shape, and I'll show you how to use the curves tool. So let's get started. So to start the base shape of the product box, we'll actually be using the curve tools. And the reason we'll be doing that is because the curve tools give us a little more control over managing the shape, and they're going to be a bit quicker than using polygonal modeling methods such as box modeling and point out. And if you cannot find the curve tool, under the basic tab and the modeling tab, you'll find it right here under the pin tool, and it looks like a polygon with 4 vertices on either corner. So click and hold on the pin tool, and you can see the curve tool here. And you'll see it activated, and if we click in the viewport, we can place a vertex. If we place another, we'll have a straight line curve, or more like a 2-point poly, although it is a curve. And if we place one more vertex, it will be created after that one, such as this one was created before the first one. We'll have a nice interpolated curve, and we can continue placing curves, and it will make a shape as we see fit. And we've got a few different modes over here. We've got add, edit, and delete. We'll go over those very soon here, but first let's go over the closed, start, end, and make UVs functions. Actually, not make UVs, we won't be using that. But if we hit closed, you can see it's closed this curve here. And if you're familiar with Photoshop editing curves, it's very similar. So there's that. And if we do start control, you'll see that first vertex has been turned into more of a control vertex, and we can edit the beginning here to make it function more like a Bezier curve. We could do the same with the end curve as well, or the end vertex rather, and again, it's more like a Bezier curve. So we'll turn those off. There's one more function to the add mode that isn't here as a tick box or mention anywhere, in that you can add more points to the existing curve and not continue the curve to make it bigger. So to do that, we must first select one of the vertices here, and let's say we want to place a vertex over here in between this vertex and this vertex. And if I click on that, you'll see that it created a new vertex preceding the last one. That's obviously not what we want. So to make that happen, we need to select the vertex that was created previous to the following curve section. So that means to place a vertex in this section, we need to select this vertex. And so if we select it and click in there, that's correct. So if we wanted to place a curve in this section, or a vertex in this section of the curve, that means we must select this vertex and then click on the curve there. So that's it for the add mode. Let's go to edit mode. Edit mode lets us move any vertices in the curve. It doesn't let you add anything. You can still close it. You can start and end the control to make it more like Bezier, and you can still make UVs of the curve. Then lastly, we have the delete tool. Again, this one's kind of like edit mode. It's very self-explanatory. You still have control over closing, start, end controls, and so on. But this one, if you click on a vertex, it will let you delete vertices. Once you drop the curve tool, you still have access to the same curve, so don't worry about not being able to edit or control this curve. So to do so, you must select the curve first and activate the curve tool again. You'll see those vertices are now active again, and we can move them about, and we can even add in new vertices. For example, select that vertex there to place a new vertex in between that one and the preceding vertex. Let's drop the tool and deselect the curve. Under the statistics panel, under polygons by type, we can now see our curves. And here they are here, curves. Hit the plus to select any of the curves, and the minus to deselect. If we activate the curve tool again without a selection, we can begin to create more curves like so. And one thing to note, now I've created a curve here, but let's say I want to create another curve, but I don't want to drop the tool, reactivate the tool. All you need to do is hold down the Shift key and click in the viewport and let go of Shift, and then begin to place your extra vertices for that curve. So you can continue doing that by holding Shift for however many curves you want to create. And you can also still delete vertices from any of these curves, and to do so we'll just select all of them, and that will assume, or Modo will assume, that we want to edit all of them. So activate the curve tool and just go to delete mode and click on any of the vertices you wish to delete. And actually it only works on one curve, so we'll just select the one we want to delete from, go to delete mode and click on the vertex you want to delete. And again, you can still edit this as well. And as I showed earlier, also add vertices. So to do that, you just select the curve again, and then go to whatever mode you want to use here, add, edit, or delete, and just start doing what you need to do. When you have one of the curves selected, you may notice that there's a circle at one end and nothing at the other end. The circle actually indicates the start end or head of the curve, and if you hit F to flip it, same as if flipping a polygon, it will actually move the end and start with each other. So the start is now on the end, and the end is now where the start was. So it's yet another way to get more control over your curves. Knowing at which end the head is for your spline is very important when it comes to patching your curves. Let's actually do a very quick curve patch. Let's create a new mesh. We'll hide the previous one. And let's maximize this so we have the top viewport. Okay, and we'll maximize the top viewport for this. Activate the spline tool, and we'll create a couple of curves in here. We'll do another wavy line. So the head will be on this end, and the tail will be on this end. Let's actually just copy this curve, paste it back in, and move it down. Okay, let's create one more curve. We'll start right there. Let's turn on snapping for this. And F11 to bring up the snapping panel, and we'll snap to vertices. So we'll snap right there and place one right there. Okay, let's hold down Shift and we'll start right here and we'll end over there. In fact, let's just bring that one in. Okay, now we'll drop the tool and let's take a look at each one of these curves. So the head is on the right side, tail's on the left. And the head on this one should be at the tail of the other curve here. So let's flip it with the F key. Alright, so now it's matching perfectly fine. And the reason is because when you go to patch a curve, if the head isn't at the tail of another one, it won't patch, or it won't patch correctly. So notice that this one also needs flipped. So we should hit the F key, and this one also needs flipped. So now they're all going from head to tail, like so. And now if we merge all of these together, so let's go to the vertex room merge. All of these should be merged together now, so if we double click it, it should select everything, and it does. Okay, so now we can actually patch the curve. Under the basic tab, under the spline tool, we have another tool called patch curves. And if we click in the viewport, we'll now have 4 cyan squares for each of these splines in the view. If you didn't have the head preceding the tail of the previous spline, you wouldn't see these cyan curves. Or you might, you just wouldn't be able to click on them sequentially like so. So it would have dropped the previous one there and only selected this one. And so I can now select each one of these, and let's go to the perspective viewport. Let's take a look at this patch here. We can actually change the amount of live patches we have in here, the polygons. We can also say, hey, I want to freeze these and make real polygons. So we'll leave that on so we can actually see all of the edges in there. And what's cool about this is that we can actually say, hey, I want to change the shape, let's go into that curve. We can use any of the modeling tools and shape it how we want. And say, well, I don't exactly want to get rid of those polygons. Let's put them in a new layer. Okay, we'll just make a new layer, paste those in, we'll hide that layer. Go back to the layer with curves and maybe finesse this a little more and even give it some depth or something. Something like that. Just a real quickie here. Activate the spline patch tool, select these sequentially, and now we have that nice mesh all deformed how we want it.